In this chapter, we're going to look at decimals. Decimals are just like fractions. They actually say the same thing. It's just we have two different languages. We have fraction language and we have decimal language. So in the previous chapter, we learned all about fractions. Now we're going to learn all about decimals. And the hope is that you're going to see how the two chapters kind of are one and the same. It's just what type of a format you want to use for your numbers. So decimals are an alternative way of representing fractions. It's a base 10 place value system, like that's not going to change. And the value of each digit depends on its place in the number, where it's sitting in the number. And the value of each place, as you go to the right, is 1/10 the value of the previous place. So integers, those are your negative numbers, your positive numbers, and 0, but all just whole numbers only, no fractions or decimals. That was base 10, and we talked about place values. Now we're going to do the same thing with decimals. We need to talk about place value. And of course, it's still a base 10 system. So we worked with the numbers on the left first. We have the ones place, the tens place, hundreds, thousands. And we even learned how to write those as exponents. Here's your 0 exponent, 1, 2, 3. It's basically like how many zeros you have is the exponent. But now as we move to the right, we go past the decimal point. We got to talk about how to talk about these numbers. So this 1/10 the value, that's like 1/10 is like dividing by 10. So 1,000 divided by 10 is 100. 100 divided by 10 is 10. 10 divided by 10 is 1. 1 divided by 10 is 1/10. If you divide again, you get 1/100th. If you divide again, you get 1,000th. So we've got the THs that show up here. Kind of like with fractions, we would have like fifths and eighths and tenths, right? So that TH language showed up. That's always what you have here. In fraction language, a tenth is 1/10. 100th is 1/100th. 1,000th is 1/1000th. But we say it the same way if it's a decimal. This is 1/10, 100th, 1,000th. So if you just hear me say the word, you won't know if I'm saying the fraction or the decimal, because they really do mean the same thing. As far as the exponents go, you can see you lose an exponent each time you move to the right. So 10 cubed, 10 squared, 10 to the first, 10 to the 0. The natural progression is then you go 10 to the -1, 10 to the -2, 10 to the -3. So you can see where the negative exponents come from. And we know that negative exponents mean fractions, essentially. So it's interesting that the integers are the exponents that you would use for your place values. So one thing you'll be asked to do is to be able to say a decimal number in words. You need to be careful when you use the word and. And is always going to represent the decimal point. So we're going to say and when we get to the decimal point. And we're going to lump the numbers together before on the left side of the decimal and on the right side. So this first number on the left is just 5. So you're just going to literally write it out as 5. We get to the decimal, so we say and. I'm not going to split up the 4 and 5. I'm going to lump it together and call it 45. And it's going to be 45. And since it ends in the second place value, that's your hundredths place. So make sure you get a TH at the end of that. So it's 5 and 45 hundredths because you end in the second place value. The next one, a lot of times people just say 4.6, but to say it properly, it's 4 and one decimal place is the tenths place. So we say 6/10. So 4 and 6/10. So you're always ending with the last place value that the number's in. This last one, we don't have to say the 0 at the beginning, but we are going to lump all three of these numbers together. We're not going to say 3/10, 0/100, 2,000ths. We're not going to split it up. We're going to call that 302. Notice what I just said. I said 302. I didn't say 302 because that would have implied a decimal. It's just 302, and because this ends in the third decimal place, that's the thousandths. So again, it's got that TH in there. 302 thousandths. So because there were no numbers on the left, we didn't have to use the word and. Now we're going to practice writing some numbers in expanded form with exponents. We're going to use the exponents that are at the top of the page. So we're going to stick all of these together with plus signs. So we start off with the 2, and the 2 is sitting in the ones place, and the exponent you use for the ones place is 10 to the 0. So this is going to be 2 ones, right? We have 2 ones, so 2 10 to the 0. Plus we have 4 in the first place behind the decimal, so 10 to the negative 1. And then we have a 1 in the second place behind the decimal, so that's 10 to the negative 2. So again, with your place values, if I wanted to write them up here, I'll just write out a few. This is 10 to the 0, 10 to the 1, 10 squared, cubed, etc. And then going the other direction is negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, etc. So if I get it written there, okay, so we can see 2 and 41,000. So the 2 is here, 10 to the 0, 4, 1. The next one is 25.0457, so lots of place values. So it starts here, the 25 starts here in the second place, so that's going to be 2 of these, 2 tens, 5 ones, so the 2 is in this place value, the 5 is here, and then we have a 0, 4, 5, and then a 7. I'm going to go ahead and put the 0 in here so just to kind of continue the pattern. So the first place behind the decimal is a 0, then we have a 4 in the next one, 5 in the next one, and then it ends with a 7 in the last decimal place. So look at the exponents. It goes 1, 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. It should trail off like that. And so that's why I like to put any zeros in there as like a placeholder. So you can make sure that you've got all the exponents in the right places. And then the numbers themselves go in order: 2, 5, 0, 4, 5, and 7. So that would be expanded form with powers of 10 or exponents.